Hi guys, it's Kiki La Chanteuse here, and I know that we are all reeling from our current situation here in the US, of who our next president is now. And I know that in my last video, I had said that I was going to talk a little about being disabled as a burlesque performer. But I kind of feel that I need to talk a little bit about something else in relationship to disability and healthcare and my concern. Now, I'm not going to say anything that is going to be super aggressive, and I'm not going to say anything inappropriate because I believe that myself personally, I need to keep those things to myself. Now, I'm not saying that I don't need to vent at any given point in time, but for the sake of my own personal self, I don't think that violence is the best course of action. And like many others, I have been rattling around in my head the option of leaving the US for another country. That as well is something that many people have to make decisions on their own. And so this video today, I'm not going to talk about my personal disability or anything like that, but I am going to state my concern about what has just happened. I am somebody who is on Cover California. So I fall into the Obamacare Act. And I don't get state subsidized disability. I mean, not say so disability. Sorry. I do not get state covered insurance. Like I don't get Medi-Cal or anything like that. I wanted to keep the insurance I had prior to my accident. And so I chose to pay a premium price for my insurance. And it's not cheap. It's quite expensive. And it takes a lot of money to keep my insurance. I'm not going to lie. It's very much close to $400 for me to be able to see my doctor and my specialist, physical therapy and everything along those lines. So I can contribute greatly to financially putting out there what I need to do to be able to keep my insurance. Now, had I not had the ability through Cover California to get the insurance, my premium price would be more expensive and would be close to like $500. So I am thankful for the amount that I do have to pay, though I wish it was less. It's the cards that are dealt to me. I am, as a disabled person, greatly concerned that I'm going to lose what little insurance that I have because I will not be able to afford it. I am on medications that I have to take for my nerve pain that I have to take daily and will probably have to take for the rest of my life. Without my insurance, that medication alone is $350 a month. Just one medication. That's not even talking about the rest of it. That's not talking about the anti-inflammatory. That's not talking about the medication for my anxiety and my depression. That is not talking about any other medication that I need to be able to function on a daily basis. That's talking about one medication to keep my nerves from me wanting to kill myself. From the nerves, from just losing it. And that pain is a pain that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. Like, honestly, it's the most debilitating pain. And if you have nerve damage and you have this pain, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, there is no way of describing this pain to another person. So I worry about what this means for my fellow disabled individuals. I'm not even talking about on top of the fact that I am a woman and I am a woman of mixed race. So I have 3 strikes against me as a disabled Black and white woman. I worry for my friends and for my family, and greatly for the disabled community about what this is going to mean. There are very few options for us for assistance as it is. And I'm dealing with problems with one of those particular groups right now with lack of communication and assistance and help. And the idea that we will lose those few assistance-based options is something that I fear for greatly. I am lucky. I go through the world and can look from time to time very normal. I can walk through the world shrouded from the world of my disability. If I let my arm down and it's not in its sling, or if you go to shake my hand and I shake it with your hand out and I shake your hand with my left hand, you would just think that maybe I am left-handed. Until you see what I have to do and my personal little nuances and subtle things that I do. It's not, I'm lucky. I'm lucky in that retrospect. But I worry for my friend, like my burlesque friend, Jackie Box. She's in a wheelchair, and I don't know what this is going to mean for her. We already have many things in this world that are against us as the disabled community, and I don't know what this is going to mean. So I'm not going to say anything inflammatory. I'm not going to say anything hurtful. And I'm not going to say anything that would ensue violence. All I'm going to say is that we need to ask ourselves, what does this mean for the communities of our race, of our human race? Of our cultures, of our needy, of our disabled, of our Latinos, our African American, our LGBT communities, and how, as friends of support for those people, what can we do to help with the next 4 years? And the thing that we can do is not to get too crazy with our words. Violence isn't going to fix this. It's done. What is done is done. There are a few things that we as a community can do, as a nation can do, with the assistance of the government. So there's that. But we now need to come together and surround our friends who are going to be the ones that are the most hit by this, and blanket and support them. I have friends in the LGBT community that I worry for their marriages. I have friends in the Latina community that are Latinas and Latinos, and I have my friend Roxanne. She's married. She's of Hispanic descent, and she's married to a black man. What does this mean for them? What does this mean for them, for their love, for their form of lifestyle? That, and they live in a predominantly Muslim neighborhood. What will that mean for their neighbors? What will that mean for their neighbors' children? You know, so let's come together as a human race and find the proper way of assisting our friends and our families through the next 4 years. Let's not turn to violence. Let's not turn to the negative. Let's support. Let's find a common ground of loving each other and standing up for each other. And let's not go on Facebook and say terrible things, because if we do that, we are turning into the people that we despise the most. If you didn't vote for Trump and you've watched some of his rallies, you will notice there's a running theme of fear and hatred that runs through there. And the last thing we want to do as a civilized race, as a good, hearty people, is to all become that. We don't want to do that. Become the opposite of the thing that you despise the most. So that's what I have to say this evening. I know this is going to be a rough transition. I just felt I needed to say that. And I promise my next post will be a lot more lighthearted. It'll be something about being in burlesque and being disabled. Maybe about doing my makeup one-handed. I don't know. We'll figure out something. Something that will be better. Something that will be more lighthearted, and something that will be a lot more joyful. We have the holidays coming. So let's come together. Let's love one another, and let's get our lives back on track. So I love you all. I support you all. Have an amazing night. And please, please, please love yourselves and one another. Good night, guys.